everybody. Welcome to this version of Pit Stop with Traffic Jam Jimmy. I am in Perry Hall at Angel Park, and it's an amazing park, not just for any child, but children and with disabilities, which you'll see a little later. And joining me is Kelli Szczybor. I knew her as a little girl as Kelli Hackey, but it's Kelli Szczybor. And Kelli, I guess you took something so sad and negative and made something so positive, creating Angel Park. Tell us, as the founder, how did Angel Park come to be?
I lost my son, Ryan. He was at 6 months old in 1997. He was diagnosed with AML leukemia. And he had 9 months of battle. He had many difficulties battling through cancer, chemo, radiation, a bone marrow transplant. But at 15 months old, he passed away. And for my family, my daughter was only 7 at the time. My husband and I, we struggled losing Ryan, and we were just looking for something that would help us heal. So going through counseling, going through the support of the family and friends, we helped at a place called Annie's Playground in Harford County that was similar to Angel Park. And during that time, it helped me heal as a mother grieving. And I knew that it helped a lot of people in that community. I wanted it for this community at Perry Hall. I've grown up here all my life, and I've met many families that have lost not only children, but other people they love. And so I felt like if I could do something like Annie's Playground here at Perry Hall, it would provide a lot of healing for a lot of families and my own family. So I started looking into it. We reached out to the people that built Annie's Playground, and they helped to guide us to what to do. But there wasn't much space left in Perry Hall. So it took years and years. And with the support of my family and the local government, they provided this land. We found this land that was the county's land, and that they weren't sure what to do with this. And one day we were at a meeting, and they said, anybody have ideas? And we gave the idea of producing something like Angel Park, where the community would come together and build it, and it would be funded by the community and built by the community.
Well, speaking of that, it was definitely a labor of love for all the community. So from the time, let's say you came up with the idea, tell us all the important things and who got involved with designing and the build.
Yeah, so that was like the best part of the playground. For myself and my family, Ryan always in our heart and in our forefront of everything we were doing, but we didn't want to just call it Ryan's Playground, because like I said, everybody lost someone in their life that was close to them, and the word angel just kept popping up. And then we said, we don't want a playground that's just for certain children. We want a playground that's all inclusive, that every child can enjoy. So when anybody has a child with disabilities, they're angels to their family. Grandchildren are angels to the grandparents. Our children are angels to us. And volunteers are angels, because you can't do anything without volunteers with whatever you do in life. So that word angel just kept coming up in meaning a lot of different meanings for everybody. So Angel Park stuck. And from that, we just used that as our pushing to do more and making this happen. So we started with a small group of us, some of my family members, some local residents, the county councilman, the county executive, and we just started pushing and said, okay, what do we need to do? So we got to go into 9 local schools. And the day that we got the okay to do it from the county, the next day we went into 9 local schools and asked 5,000 children. And I'm not exaggerating, it was 5,000 children. Wow. 5,000 of the local kids, all we gave them a little piece of paper and we said, if you could build your dream playground, what would it be? And we told them we're next to the library, so we want to say, let's use stories in your theme. Use your imagination, and a storybook theme is where we want to go, because everybody has a story to tell, and you can create new stories when you're meeting new friends. So we drew literally 5,000 pictures of what all the kids wanted. And then we sat in a hotel room with the architect, and we literally separated all the 5,000 drawings, and we took what the majority of the kids wanted. Number 1, a zip line. That was by far what all the children wanted, was a zip line. So when we were doing the zip line, we said to the architect, we want a zip line for these children, but not if every child can't ride it. So they came up with a design that was a special seat so that children with disabilities that might need some extra help or lifted out of a wheelchair can actually sit in and race alongside with their friend. So it started to come about as listening to people in the community and seeing what the kids wanted, because this is their playground, you know? And so that's what's even like the most special about this, is that it was the kids that designed this, you know, their colors, their imagination, and that's how it was designed.
Okay, well, let's go to the build, the breaking the ground, and the actual, how many people it took to actually build this beautiful playground.
Yeah.
Angel Park is actually.
So I'll say, first, when we designed it, we got a price tag of how much it was going to cost. And, you know, it was over $1 million. And we thought, well, the county said we could do this, but if we raise the funds. So luckily, the community didn't even hesitate. We had from grassroots fundraisers. We had bull roasts, we had 5Ks, we had all the local community stores were putting like little boxes in there to collect money. We had, my niece made bracelets and sold them. We had a little girl do a lemonade stand. I mean, from little to big fundraisers, big communities, big companies donated money. The state and local government pitched in. It was definitely a community effort from the fundraising part. That took us about 2 years to get the money. And then we said, okay, we set the date for July 8th. And we said, here we go, July 8th, 2016, let's break ground. And we had a 10-day window. And we thought, Perry Hall community is awesome. I know we're gonna get maybe a few hundred, maybe 1,000 at the most come out. Probably most of them be my family, right? I don't, you know, so I was like, okay, we'll just put it out there. And in 10 days, 4,000 people came.
4,000.
4,000. It was like, it was the best thing I think I could have ever seen, because people were coming and telling why they came. They were either coming because they lost a loved one and they wanted to give back and heal, like felt good giving back to the community. They were long-term members and they wanted to build this for their grandchildren. They were members just moving into the community that wanted to be a part and meet new people. I mean, every person had a story and why they were here. And even though that was 4,000 new people, some of them worked all 10 days. So some of them came back one day here and there. Some worked all 10 days. It was amazing.
I remember the first night they broke ground, a big storm came and it rained.
Yeah.
And then the rainbow.
Double rainbow. Double rainbow. And that was a push, because it was stressful. The whole project was a lot of coordinating, and there was some sleepless nights. Worth it in the end, but that day was just what we needed. That was our first day, breaking through the kinks, you know, working through everything. It was at least 100 degrees. We had about 200 holes dug here for all the poles, and it was so hot. And then this storm came, and all the volunteers that came that day had to leave because it wasn't safe, and all of our holes filled up with water, and we literally had to ask volunteers to manually dip out the water by hand. Not one person complained. They laid down and got to work, and all of a sudden we looked up, and that double rainbow completely went over the park, and then we knew, like, okay, this is meant to be, and we're gonna keep pushing through.
Right.
And we have a picture of that inside the Memorial Garden.
You also have a poster with the 4,000 volunteers that signed it?
Yeah, every volunteer that came, the first thing they did when they registered and filled out the waiver, we said, sign your name, because this is history. Like, there's nothing like this in Perry Hall. And everybody was here, you know, to do whatever was asked, and they pitched in with smiles on their faces, and it was just amazing to see.
Well, we're going to take a tour and walk and see everything, and even from the top of the, I guess you call it the, what's it, spaceship or?
The castle?
Castle.
Yeah.
The castle, even wheelchairs are accessible to go up and look down like regular kids.
Yes, that was important, because a lot of the families that have children in wheelchairs were telling us that the children, they'd watch all the kids running around the playground, and they could never get to that top point, and you take that for granted. You know, you watch your kids run up to the top and they look down over the park and they're like, wow, this is awesome, and their children never got that chance. So we decided no steps here. We want all ramps, and let that child get that feeling. And there's even a special thing for every slide, that if the parent can help the child hold on at the top, they slide off their seat onto the slide, and then the parent can wheel the chair down and the child can actually slide. So it's so many little things that are, it just all included in it, and
Well,
it's for
talking
them.
of wheelchairs, I think the most impressive thing to me, and it took you a while to get it, is the wheelchair swing. And tell us a little bit about the wheelchair swing.
Yeah, the wheelchair swing was something that, like we said, our goal was all inclusive from the beginning. And there's some families that told us that their child can't get out of a wheelchair. There's some adults that have never been able to swing in their whole life. I can't even imagine that, like never being able to get on a simple thing like a swing, and that feeling of flying. They never got that experience. So we researched, and we found one that was in Australia. And it needed to come over by boat. It was very expensive, and it took a while to get permits and things like that. And so we put it off because we wanted to open the playground, but it was always something that our playground would not have been finished until we could get that added. And so it took us almost 5 years, but we finally got everything worked out. We got the raised enough funds, and that's our final piece. And it just means everything to us, because every child that has been able to ride it so far, every adult that has been able to ride it, has said it feels like Disney World. I mean, because they never seen if your child is going through what their children are going through, and you see that smile, that's priceless. I mean, a swing, so that makes us feel like everything was worth it. Like all the stuff we go through is worth it.
Well, I see Michelle has a family now. It looks like Joanne and her boy Joe.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to go up on the swing now. Let me talk to her a minute.
Okay.
How cool is that, Joe?
Is that cool or what, bud? Awesome.
Well, we're here at Angel Park, and here we have the wheelchair swing. And Mom Joanne, tell us how Joe likes this.
Joe really gives him a feeling of freedom. That's the biggest thing for him. He constantly has to be in his wheelchair. He has cerebral palsy, and has.
Here, Mom, I'll swing while you talk.
Oh, okay.
Walk right over here, Miss Joanne.
Yeah, he has cerebral palsy with quadriplegic in his limbs, so he doesn't walk, he doesn't talk. So for someone that has that disability, to be able to swing freely is it's a real freedom. And the only place that I've found, other than this wonderful community, is Disney World. Disney is the only other place that I've found that has things specifically for people in wheelchairs.
And not only the swing, the whole park is accessible for Joe, isn't it?
Correct. The whole park is accessible for Joe, and he can walk the ramps and a lot of the other items on the park. But the swing specifically for him, because he can't get out of his chair. And that's just him. I mean, people that have a little bit more mobility than him, this is a fabulous, fabulous park.
Well, thank you, Joanne.
Thank you.
Boy, that wheelchair is just amazing. It's incredible. And joining me now is Michelle, who during the build, and you were the production manager?
Construction manager.
Construction manager. Okay, Michelle, Kelli filled us in on most everything. She didn't touch, however, what's over our shoulder, and she didn't touch on the fundraising part of all the names on the fence. Can you explain us that a little bit?
Yeah, and you're right about that wheelchair swing. I am completely inspired.
Did you see Joe's smile on his face? It's got to be.
It lights up. It lights up every time he gets on that swing, and I love watching it every single time.
I can see why.
We were able to take the entire playground and fill it with the names of people in our community, and part of that was to help raise money for the playground, but also part of it was to just give people a piece of the playground as much as possible. And so those pickets have provided us the opportunity to make Angel Park even more special than perhaps a routine swing set or something that you might see somewhere else, because this place is one in itself. It's very unique, as you know.
Right. Just the 4,000 people that came together and made this happen is just
mind-boggling.
All right, well, let's talk about the amphitheater.
Yeah. This amphitheater was donated by a family again in the community, the Bud and Betty Cole Amphitheater and the Cole family, and they even helped to install it when we did put it in. It is a beautiful wheelchair accessible place for us to have all kinds of performances, and we have. There's been a lot of smiles in that amphitheater too. We've had people married there, we've had concerts, we had people coming and reading books to the children, we've had dance parties, and
Aerobics?
everything in between.
Aerobics?
Aerobics, yes, yoga. We have
Yoga.
routinely.
Okay, now this year, to keep this park going, you still got other fundraisers.
Yes.
What's coming up later on this year?
Yeah, we've been having for the last couple of years pretty consistently a bull roast and a 5K. And so we're going to do that again this year as much as we possibly can. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our bull roast from last year, but we are going to go forward at least with the 5K, and then we're going to plan on that bull roast in November. So the 5K is going to be on August 8th.
August 8th.
And it's going to run through here at Angel Park, and we'll just follow the rules based on whether it needs to be virtual or in person, and we'll cross our fingers and hope we can be together.
Well, if it's in person, I'm going to put my name down. I got it on
You
my
got
calendar,
it.
Right?
You
'Cause
got it.
I have been involved
You
throughout the
absolutely
years,
have. And I want to thank you for that, because
wow.
you just help us to bring more people to this wonderful place. And the more money we can raise, the better off we can be in replacing components that need to be replaced. Because it's so popular, we definitely need to replace things, and then continue to upgrade as well. Looking for more opportunities to put more equipment in, or put some shade structures, or fix the landscaping, or add to the landscaping, just make it more of a beautiful place for everybody to be.
Oh, beautiful it is. And you know what? I want to go try out that zip line.
Oh, you better do that.
Don't tell my wife. Hey, buddy.